RCAT Holdings is making waves in the drone industry, and they've been supplying advanced technology to the US military and expanding into some AI powered surveillance. Now, with the defense budgets kind of rising and the autonomous warfare becoming a lot of the future in that sector, RCAT might be the next big play. What do you guys think down below? Let's jump in. So, again, if you guys want to stay ahead of the game in quantum computing, space tech, let's say aviation in this case, and AI in 2025 and beyond, hit that subscribe button and don't miss the next wave of innovation. Let's stay informed and stay profitable. Let's jump in. So as you can see here, RCAT, we were taking a look at some aviation stocks. It's been on this trend where it just back here in 2024 was starting to rise from 80 cents. It made this really big run. I would say it kind of looks like a pump in the way that it surged up to $15 a share. Now, as we've seen, it's pulled back down, but its pattern has been consistent when it's above that 200-day moving average or below. So in this case, it's been below, and you can see that there was this downtrend that's pretty consistent here, right here. So there's the lowering resistance, and that's basically from February until today. And then you also have the support. See that lowering support? So it was in this downtrend. It just broke out of the downtrend. And just the past few days, it started to, rather than go down, consolidate from left to right, and then actually broke up above this 200-day moving average. And then now it's holding above the EMA and that 200-day moving average, the SMA. So what we could say about this here is you want to take a look at the levels that you have. There's a couple levels mapped out, but I guess before we even jump into the levels, let's take a look at their company and their financials, and then we'll jump in. If you go to their company, you can take a look at their website, RCATs. They're a drone company again. You can see some of the partnerships that they have and some of the news that they have. Now, they have some financial results, which we'll jump into. There's three things we look at when analyzing a stock: the technical analysis, the fundamentals, so the news here, and then we'll also take a look at the financials as well. And so when you take a look at the news, the RCAT's position is not too bad. They got some good partnerships. I've seen some of their news come out over the past few months. If we just jump back, let's take a look back into early 2025. They secured, a few smaller contracts. You can see RCAT partners with Palantir. So basically, late 2024, they partnered with Palantir for Black Widow with autonomous visual navigation and warp speed for GPS compromised environments. So essentially, if a drone, let's say, gets compromised via GPS or someone's tampering with its communication, can beeline back to wherever it was. Now, that's already kind of common in drones, like you have a home base. But when it comes to the types of drones that are fully equipped and have a lot of other types of software that are related to actually fighting a war, it makes a whole lot of sense that would be extremely important to dial in. So as you can see, they have this partnership with Palantir. No big dollar amounts were disclosed in that partnership. Nevertheless, most likely going to lead to more growth. RCAT secures a $1 million contract there. That was in Q4. And then you got this Army short range program. You got special operations. They got Teal 2 to Florida Army National Guard. So they're working with National Guard, even helping out in the Hurricane Milton. They got another $1.6 million contract. So you could see like a lot of like 1 to 3 to 5 to sometimes $10 million contracts. But a lot of them, there's another 2.5. A lot of them are related to, again, supplying drones and supplying maybe software for drones to optimize different operations in different government agencies, mostly related to war. We saw some like hurricane help there, some natural disaster help as well, which is interesting, working with the National Guard. Because I look out in the mountains here, because I'm in California, and there's we're up in Northern California where there's a bunch of mountains. And I look outside and I'm like, yeah, if AI ever tried to get us out here, it would be hard with a robot to get through all these trees and all this bush and all all this mountain terrain. But a drone, on the other hand, that's a little scary. So anyway, I feel like drone tech is going to be definitely advancing. We see companies like Amazon using drones and a lot of delivery companies using drones. So most likely will be a really good market to be in. The financials will end on the technicals, but let's jump into RCAT stock financials. Let's take a look. Early 2024, things were looking good. Good revenue, 250% up year over year. They're in the green. Their net profit margins were still down, but they were improving. Second quarter, they were improving, starting to see more revenue again. But then revenue kind of dropped off in that quarter three. You can see net income was down. And then their recent earnings in quarter four, not looking too good. Like, obviously, they have some partnerships that can turn into some more contracts. They're in that IDIQ on-demand contracts for the 10-year for on-demand for government. That would probably give them a lot more contracts. At least that's what I've seen with companies like Big Bear or Palantir or CTM, Castellum stock. And that's not to say that they don't have any future, but most investors are going to look at this and say, okay, they generated just about 1.5 million in that quarter, and their net income's negative 13, and it's just not really looking all that good. Because when you look at their market cap, they're at a $450 million market cap. We could look at a company like Castellum, CTM, where when we look at their financials, they're making 11 or 12 million dollars a quarter, and their market cap's only at 70 million. So I would say that the company does seem on the overvalued side based on the revenues, but you could say the same thing about quantum computing as well. You could say the same thing about some of the up and coming AI companies. So it's also like emerging tech. You're potentially buying what could be in that investment. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, here's where the technicals jump in. We saw it just broke above this 200-day moving average. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bullish. In fact, the RSI, the MACD, these right here, they look pretty overextended. It looks like it pushed up quite a bit, and I could expect a sell-off potentially here on RCAT. But let's jump in and let's do a deeper analysis. Let's do the Fibonacci. So if we go from the top down to the recent low, which is right here, and we're going to look, you see some of these levels here. We're going to say that it gets back into these previous highs, not the highs of $15, but let's call it like 13, somewhere in this range. So let's drag that over. So essentially kind of continuing this trend here. So again, we have this trend down here and we're kind of continuing it. So that would be right into here. Okay, so this is kind of a longer midterm outlook on where RCAT could go if they continue that type of direction we saw build. If we're looking at Fibonacci, it says that the golden ratio is at 0.618, which is where you'd want to buy. So it's not even in buy territory right now. You'd want to see a break above $7. Let's see how that maps up against these levels. So previous support, pretty strong right here, a little resistance, little support. Yeah, as you can see this, and then you got some support here. There's a support level. There's a support. This is a pretty strong support right here. As you can see, it's been there. So that's going to inevitably act as a resistance. Now, according to Fibonacci, that 618 ratio is where you'd want to buy. And that actually makes a lot of sense because when you look at this recovery, if we are where we are, and we're at the recent low is just a few days ago. So this is a nice recovery, but again, still kind of this trend down that you could see. And this level to get to this 618, that's a 40% increase we'd have to see. And once it breaks above it, because it's going to have some trouble, this is the previous support. Previous support oftentimes will act as a resistance. And so when it reaches that level, it could be tough for it to break through. But once it breaks through, if it validates that previous resistance or that previous support as once again being a support, that'd be a really strong support level for it to work from and potentially make its run up into these levels that we saw previously. So again, if we see that level, I would say $8 would be more indication that it could potentially be a buy. That would mean this recovery here would be if you buy in that 618, let's say above $8. Really good trade would be up into here. That'd be about 40% increase up to $11. And then if things go like really, really well up into this this $13 range, that'd be about a 70% increase to an 80% increase if it reaches those previous highs. But again, I'd look for a little more confirmation on RCAT. I'm just not really seeing this. It's nice to see this recent breakouts, because it does look like it's breaking out. Instead of continuing down, basically went left to right the past few days and then broke out of that downtrend and then pushed up above the 200-day moving average. So that's something that does catch the attention. And again, I would just wait for a little more confirmation. Unless we're going to trade it just short term, we'll see if any opportunities present themselves right at market open. If we see something that will catch our eye that we can potentially trade, then we will. If you guys want to watch me trade live at market open, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're there each day at market open trading, and you can in the second link down below. That's StockMate, and we have a huge sale there if you want to take advantage of it. Again, it's the second link down below to watch me trade live. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.